It's all a big scam. And with that, I would like to bring in our dear friend of the show from Ireland, where it is about what 3:30 in the afternoon. Our good friend of the show, John. Sir, how are you doing today?
Very well, George. Hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah, you're coming through perfectly.
That's great. It's great to hear you again. And I was listening to Dan's broadcast this morning as well. And I hear in both of your voices a righteous anger. Uh, you could say it's indignation, maybe, but it's a controlled anger anyway,
Yeah.
and justifiably so. That's what the righteousness part is. I'm absolutely with you. I think the reason perhaps that I'm not incensed with anger full time, all of the time, is that occasionally I find myself slipping back into a frame of mind where I think, no, do you know, really, I think as likely as not, I must be hallucinating this. All of this can't be going on because of the sheer hypocrisy or the obviousness of the hypocrisy, and how it's the most blatant repetition of all of the things in history that at least they tell us that happened. The people being pushed onto cattle cars, the people being told to wear yellow armbands, the people being dragged out of their homes. Let's just pick, for example, that little girl who allegedly wrote a diary, whether or not, I'm sure any of our listeners will know, I don't need to repeat this, ballpoint pens, but they'll have a little chuckle at that, and whether her father may have indeed either have ghost written it or written most of it. Um, I have a tendency to go off into tangents, but let's just imagine, this little girl. And I went to the house in Amsterdam, and it was ridiculous to imagine that these evil Nazi soldiers hunting out for these people could not have figured out there was a massive part of the house hidden behind this, door cut in a wooden panel that they just couldn't figure out where they were hiding. Absolutely preposterous. Anyway, let's suppose that they were hiding in there, going, "Oh no, the terrible Nazis are coming to take us away," I agree with you. A lot of people have figured out that, these death camps had roller coasters, according to their own legends. There was these big furnaces which they would be loaded into these trolleys, and they'd go down these roller coasters into these furnaces. All this sort of stuff. I'm letting your readers know that we all know this stuff, right? So they embellish stuff, right? All that they needed to say was that they were living in fear that they might be arrested and brought to a place where they were forced to work for the state, let's say, in their munitions factories or whatever it might be, against their will. That's all that it takes. As you said, all that matters is that they were forced to do something they didn't want to do, that their free will was being taken away from them. They didn't need to embellish the story. We understand, we get it. And by sullying the truth, they have made it now possible for it all to be repeated again. I would say to these people who, sort of say, "Oh, you wouldn't believe what they did. They made eagles peck out our eyes while bears scratched our stomachs," or whatever it might be. All that nonsense was not necessary. All you needed to say was, we had our free will taken away from us by authoritarian people, regardless of whether they were acting on orders of the state or not. These abstract concepts that people hide behind that allows people to do evil to each other. And this is what's happening now. And there was that poem written by one of these people who were forced to wear armbands with gold stars on them. And I can't remember the title of it, but, the format of the poem was, first of all, they came for the so-and-sos, and I said nothing because I wasn't a whatever. So it seems to me that in the Northern Territory, maybe part of it is in Western Australia as well, but I think Northern Territory, where there's I think it's a group of younger, perhaps Aborigines. These are supposed to be indigenous, ab meaning from, and origin meaning, the origin of the land. So these people who were allegedly there first, and they've been treated terribly, all this hand wringing. Who knows exactly, because a lot of that has been embellished as well. But all that matters is that there are people of a certain group who are being taken away somewhere. And even if they're not being beaten black and blue or medically experimented on or whatever, just the fact that people who are born free are not allowed to live free. That's the crime here. And this is what's being repeated again and again and again. And the people who claim to shed a tear for what happened in history are the people who are perpetrating it and enabling all around us. And they'd want to catch on to themselves very quickly, because at first they're coming for the Aborigines, and next they'll be coming for the useful idiots. Maybe not immediately next, but at some point it's going to happen to them. And they'll be saying, oh no, somebody must help us. Oh, we might have been, we're not sure if we were wrong, but let's sort that out later. We'll sweep it under the rug later. But we need all you brave men to come and save us now. And I won't want to. The better part of me will be saying, okay, forgive them, Father. They, aren't able to always figure out what they do. But I have a lot more sympathy with the devil these days. And I'm in many ways saying to the devil, won't you please hurry up and give these people what they're begging for? Okay, so I'll stop polemicizing. That was just supposed to be a hello again, everybody. It's very nice to talk to you, rather than jump into a big diatribe. But I noticed, Dan, he held himself back a lot. And you were, I could see you were, even though he's getting emotional, and you were getting emotional there too, but rightly so.
Yeah,
Really
and you know what? I think part of the reason why I was a little emotional this morning, I don't know if you had a chance to catch it yesterday around noon. I did about an hour broadcast. I've gotten a lot of people. Our listenership in Australia has really spiked lately. I've gotten so many clips of people, pleading for help. So I just simply, like I said at the beginning of the show, I put together like an hour montage of people pleading for help in Australia. And I played that yesterday, and I woke up this morning. I had like a dozen emails, 15 emails from people from Australia saying like, thank you. Like there's somebody outside of this continent that is actually receiving the message that we need help. And there was some pretty heartfelt comments in there. And it's just, I've been, I really feel for those people. And the other reason is I'm really hoping by playing this stuff that people here realize what's happening there will come here at some point. And wherever you are in the world, it will come there at some point. And if you don't understand that, then I don't know what else to tell you.